Friends, today basically we'll be studying about the use of Article 356. So, since 1950, the president rule has been imposed on more than 100 occasions. So, there have been more than 100 occasions when president's rule has been imposed. That is on the average twice a year. Further, on a number of occasions, the president's rule has been imposed in an arbitrary manner for political and personal reasons. Hence, Article 356 has become one of the most controversial and the most criticized positions in the Constitution. For the first time, the president's rule was imposed in Punjab in 1951. But now, almost all the states have been brought under the president's rule once or twice or more. The details in this regard are given in table 16.2 at the end of this chapter. When general elections were held to the Lok Sabha in 1977, after the internal emergency, the ruling Congress party lost and the Janata Party came to power. The new government headed by Morarji Desai imposed president's rule in 9 states where the Congress party was in power, on the ground that the assemblies in the states no longer represented the wishes of the electorate. When the Congress party returned to power in 1980, it did the same in the 9 states on the same ground. In 1992, president's rule was imposed in 3 BJP ruled states, MP, Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan, by the Congress party on the ground that they were not implementing sincerely the ban imposed by the center on religious organizations. In a landmark judgment in Bomai case, Bomai case 1994, the Supreme Court upheld the validity of this proclamation on the ground that secularism is a basic feature of the Constitution. But the court did not uphold the validity of the imposition of the president's rule in Nagaland in 1988, Karnataka in 89 and Meghalaya in 1991. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, while replying to the critics of the provision in the Constituent Assembly, hoped that the drastic power conferred by Article 356 would remain a dead letter and would be used only as a measure of the last resort. He observed that the intervention of the center must be deemed to be barred because that would be an invasion on the sovereign authority of the province state. That is a fundamental proposition which we must accept by reason of the fact that we have a federal constitution. That being so, if the center is to interfere in the administration of provincial affairs, it must be under some obligation which the constitution imposes upon the center. The proper thing we ought to expect is that such articles will never be called into operation and that they would remain a dead letter. If at all they are brought into operation, I hope the president who is endowed with the power will take proper precautions before actually suspending the administration of the province. However, the subsequent events show that what was hoped to be a dead letter of the Constitution has turned to be a deadly weapon against a number of state governments and legislative assemblies. In this context, H.B. Kamath, a member of Constituent Assembly, commented a decade ago, Dr. Ambedkar is dead and the articles are very much alive.